I was in the Battle of Bong Song, which was the last one I was in. We took the mountaintops. We came under heavy fire when we went in. We lost some people taking it, but we were successful. And then we moved down into the enemy area and did our harassing actions down in there. We took a bridge, and then we were told to move up and take the next bridge. And having been discovered in the area, we came under heavy fire and were shot up pretty good. I had just crossed the river under fire, and I said to myself, I'm going to get hit in that river. The water was dancing. I don't tell this to many people. But we moved out and we started across the river where the bridge had been blown up. And I remember tripping on the concrete pieces and trying to keep my rifle dry, it was probably about 20 or 30 yards across the river, and it was about chest deep. And I made it across the river and didn't get hit. And I got into the weeds. I started up the embankment on the other side, heading for a shell hole that I knew was up there because I'd been up there twice that day before on that side of the river. We started up there, and we came under heavy flanking fire from the left, the automatic weapon. I don't know how many, but the air was just alive with rounds. The bullet passes close by. It sounds like a whip cracking because it's breaking the sound barrier. You don't hear the shot of the rifle. The report of the rifle is not there. You can hear the crack of the bullet. When you hear that, you know it's really close. I have to say, too, that the noise is absolutely incredible. You have to, close together, you have to shout to each other and use a lot of hand signals to communicate because the noise is just deafening. It's absolutely amazing that men can crawl around underneath all that firepower and survive. There's a zone close to the ground, and you just learn how to find it. And it's just the firepower was absolutely incredible. It's a steady, deafening roar mixed in with explosions, of mortar shells and things like that. With the small arm fire, with the modern weapons, a man can lay down anywhere from 600 to 700 rounds a minute is the capability of his rifle. Of course, you can't use up ammunition at that rate, but that's the fire rate that most of these automatic weapons have. And you get a few thousand men facing each other on the battlefield, all of them armed like that, and you can have some pretty devastating firepower. It just always amazed me that anybody came out alive. It was just absolutely incredible. But anyhow, I came out of the river, and then we started taking the left flanking automatic fire, and three of us got hit in the same burst, and one round passed through my right hand and shot my rifle in half, and shredded the artery in my right hand, and I had to control the bleeding because it was bleeding pretty bad. Of course, the pain was incredible, and I was exposed on a bank with no weapon, so I was in a very bad position. And I got my bleeding under control somewhat, and I started looking for a rifle, and I found one of my men that had been right behind me had been killed by the same burst. So I got his rifle since he had the same, my ammunition was compatible with his rifle. I was with a Vietnamese unit that was armed different than we were. So I had an M16, and they were using a different type of weapon. So I got a rifle, and I started trying to make it back to the hole where there'd be some relative safety to get off the bank there. Every time I moved, that would be rifle fire would kick dirt all over me. So I started losing my consciousness from the bleeding. And then one of my Vietnamese buddies came out of the hole and came down and got me and helped me in. And they started taking care of me and controlled my bleeding even more. And I didn't know then what was going to happen to me. I didn't know how bad I was hurt. I was just kind of stunned. And I remember being moved underneath the remains of that bridge. There was some shelter under where the concrete had been exploded, and I was moved under there and given a unit of blood. I don't think heroes ever plan to be that way. I think it just kind of happens out of intense emotions and anger and love of your buddies. It makes you do things that you ordinarily wouldn't think you were capable of doing.